All right, listen closely. We need to dive right into this. Imagine for just a second that your mind is a high-powered, self-learning computer. Pretty standard, right? But here is the terrifying part. What if the operating system running on it isn't actually yours? What if the code directing your choices, your beliefs, and literally your entire life was passively installed by outside institutions totally without your permission? Today, we're initiating a secure data drop. We are going to look at exactly how to identify that passive software, debug your mind, and rewrite your own mental code. This video is based on Chapter 12 of Laws of Life, Book 1, Ditch the System, Design Your Life by Jack Spirko. Consider this a highly classified, leaked blueprint for breaking out of mainstream societal programming. Our objective in this explainer is simple, but it is incredibly urgent. We want to help you stop running the system's passive software and take back the keyboard. So let's start with this foundational intercept from Aristotle. Entertaining a thought without immediately accepting it. Sounds like basic common sense, doesn't it? But the source material points out that as humans, we rarely actually do this. Instead, our mental hardware is just completely riddled with exploits. When we encounter information that challenges the code we're already running, our system essentially throws a massive error message. Now, let's actually identify those specific system bugs. First up, we have cognitive dissonance. That's the raw, physical, mental discomfort of holding conflicting beliefs. But you see, it has two really dangerous cousins: confirmation bias and perception bias. Once we decide we believe something, our mind acts like a hard firewall. It actively rejects facts and will actually twist contradictory evidence just to confirm what we already think. We literally patch our mental discomfort by just rejecting reality. Let's see how this plays out in the real world with a massive, widely accepted system error. I mean, you've definitely heard the boiling frog metaphor, right? The story claims that if you put a frog in water and slowly turn up the heat, the frog won't even notice the gradual change and will just willingly boil to death. It's used all the time by speakers to describe how people ignore slow-moving threats. But according to the source, this story is a 100% fabricated myth. And man, this just brilliantly illustrates the danger of passive programming. Why do we believe it? Simply because we've heard it repeated 1,000 times. But the underlying facts completely dismantle it. Look, anyone who keeps reptiles or amphibians knows you absolutely have to create a thermal gradient in their enclosure. You need a hot side and a cool side. Cold-blooded animals actively seek out a Goldilocks zone to regulate their body temperature. So the crucial point here is a frog will absolutely jump out of water that is getting too hot. There's no way it just sits there. Yet people will aggressively defend the boiling frog myth simply because, well, everyone knows it's true. Section 1. Institutional Indoctrination. Installing the passive software. Okay, so where is all this faulty code actually coming from? Chapter 12 shifts our focus to the primary installation centers for this passive software, which is the educational system. The text argues that what we call education is very often just institutional indoctrination. It's an environment that conditions young minds to submit to authority rather than actively questioning why they believe what they believe. Think about this massive glitch in the institutional matrix. In the real world, if you solve a problem and the answer is x equals 4, boom, you are 100% correct. But in a lot of school systems, getting the right answer might only be worth 25% of the grade. A student could literally fail for not following the exact mandated steps, while another could get the final answer completely wrong but still pass with a C just for obeying the process. The source points out that this conditions students to prioritize validation from authority over actually finding the truth. And hey, it's not just about the process, it's about the data itself. The author shares a crazy personal anecdote from an 8th grade science class back in 1985. His textbook, which was published in 1982, featured a graphic stating the world would be completely out of oil in 35 years, meaning by 2017. When he did the math and questioned it, the teacher just doubled down on the panic. But a quick trip to the library to research known oil reserves proved the textbook's authoritative claim was demonstrably false. The system routinely hard-codes blatant falsehoods into young minds. Which brings us to this stark, intercepted comms quote from comedian George Carlin, which is highlighted in the text. Governments don't want a population capable of critical thinking, just smart enough to run the machines. The author argues that government-run schools are delivering the exact product they are designed to produce: obedient workers who passively accept their situation, rather than independent thinkers who challenge their own programming. Section 2. The glitch, the college illusion. All right, let's hack into one of society's most fiercely protected master files, the heavily marketed narrative that literally everyone must go to college. This is a belief so deeply entrenched that questioning it practically triggers a societal alarm bell. But consider the system alert. It's estimated that only 25 to 30% of college graduates in America actually land a job related to their major. Think about that for a second. Furthermore, over 40% of the time, a new graduate's first job doesn't even require a degree at all. This whole illusion just completely shatters when we execute a fundamental financial analysis. The source contrasts the traditional college path, which can easily saddle a student with $65,000 in debt for a totally uncertain return on investment, against skilled trades. Take a certified welder, for instance. They can get trained in 6 months for a fraction of the cost and be making $80,000 a year with just 1 single year of experience. We need welders, electricians, and heavy equipment operators just as much as we need academics. Now, the point here isn't that college is universally bad. Actually, for some professions, it's absolutely crucial. But blindly following the societal propaganda that college equals success without actually running the numbers in a spreadsheet, that is a critical logic failure. Emotion drives the narrative, but in system reality, it's an investment of time and money that absolutely must have a justifiable ROI. Section 3, the patch. Executing the no method. Okay, so we've identified the corrupted code. How on earth do we fix it? Well, Chapter 12 drops the primary solution right here, the no method. Think of it as a highly effective command line sequence designed to filter out societal noise. It stands for know if it matters, notice the bullshit, observe what it really is, and weigh what you know. Let's execute these steps one by one. Step 1 is K, know if it matters. This right here is your first line of defense. Ask yourself, does this issue actually affect my life in any meaningful way? Do I even care? If the answer is no, terminate the process immediately. Do not waste your precious mental processing power forming opinions on noise that has zero actual impact on your reality. Step 2 is N, notice the bullshit. If a claim does matter, does something about it immediately set off your internal alarms? The key here is to assume you don't know what you don't know. The source emphasizes a really basic rule of journalism. A single source is never enough. Demand verification from at least 2 independent sources before you even think about accepting a claim as valid data. Moving on to step 3, O, observe what it really is. You absolutely have to correctly classify the type of data you're evaluating. Is it a hard fact with a definitive yes or no answer, kind of like a math problem? Is it an opinion based on subjective preference, like which company makes the best phone? Or is it unknowable, like predicting the exact timeline of electric vehicle adoption by 2035? You can't accurately evaluate a claim until you correctly classify it first. Finally, step 4 is W, weigh what you know. You've got to force yourself to be brutally honest here and separate what you actually know from what you merely think you know. Stare hard at the underlying facts. Want to know the ultimate test of your code? You should be able to intelligently argue both sides of an issue. If you can't present a well-reasoned argument for the opposing side, you just don't truly understand the issue. Section 4, System Reboot, rewriting your mental code. Look, belief without understanding, that's just borrowed thinking. It's running untested code written by someone else. The system uses repetition, authority, and emotion to make completely false things feel true. To clear that malware out once and for all, I want you to inject these 3 final command lines directly into your mental computer. Command line 1, computer. When a claim batters, verify it before accepting it. Command line 2, computer, treat discomfort as a signal to think deeper, not retreat. Let that cognitive dissonance trigger curiosity, not a firewall. And command line 3, computer, make truth more important than being right. Your system override is now complete. But the hack doesn't stop here. If you are ready to stop running their code and start designing your life, go to jaxlaws.com right now to get the full 2-book series. Don't let the system control your programming. Like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you don't miss the next leaked chapter.